Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. The Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin negotiations have stalled because Triple G himself wants a 50-50 split or something close. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, it looks like Canelo versus Triple G may not happen. Most people, including myself, were under the impression that once Canelo was suspended and it was backdated and he'd be eligible to fight in August, right? We felt that the likely option would be the fight that was scheduled for May, but an unexpected roadblock or hurdle has emerged. And according to many sources, Triple G himself has insisted on a more equitable deal, aka a better deal for all you dumb motherfuckers, right? Basically, Canelo's side, Golden Boy, sent out an offer which was the same offer as the May 5th negotiations. And Tom Loeffler got back with them and said it is Triple G himself who has decided he gave up a lot in the first fight or even the second negotiations. And with everything that's happened with Canelo failing the drug test and whatnot, he wants a better percentage split. He feels he's earned that and he's worth it. And he's basically, I guess, dealt with some bullshit. So now he wants more money. He wants a better split. More money, yeah. A better split would be more money, right? And from what I've heard, he wants 50-50 or something close. So I'm going to do my best to give my thoughts on this. If you're not here for Ego's thoughts, Boxing Ego, right? Then click off the video. This is not the video for you. I'm going to give my thoughts. Listen, De La Hoya has been on record. He's calling Triple G scared and saying his side is the one that's holding up and the train's going to keep moving. We're not going to wait around all day for you. We don't care that much. If you want to fight and give fans what they want to see, then come fight us in September. But we're not revamping the deal. And I understand it's a business standpoint, there's a strong standpoint to stand behind, like, hey, I'm not willing to negotiate anymore. But you got to understand, like, this is a business. Triple G and Abel Sanchez, I don't know about Tom Loeffler, but definitely Abel Sanchez and Triple G, they talked a lot of shit about Canelo, right? Fair play. Okay, he failed 2 drug tests. However, in what fucking world do you expect the person you talk shit about and kick the man while he was down, right? And I'm not saying, Phil, trust me, I'm a realist. I'm not saying everybody should, oh, poor Canelo. He has something in his system. He got to deal with the consequences. But I'm saying, in what world do you expect somebody that you talk shit to, or a side, a faction that you talk shit to, in one of their worst career moments, if not the worst? You know what I mean? I don't know what you would say tarnished Canelo's appearance publicly more than this. Maybe vacating the belt or losing to Floyd. I don't know. But it's definitely top 3 in terms of setbacks for Canelo, right? In terms of what happened with testing positive. That was he even said it himself when he addressed the public. He says this is embarrassing. So that goes to show you that it wasn't a joyful or a momentous occasion, because he told you in the press release once he failed the drug test that he would do anything to clear it up, and this is very embarrassing to him, and he's always been a clean fighter. So again, in what world do you think that you're going to now get a more equitable split after you just said he cheated, not only by failing the drug test, but he was a cheater in the first fight, and then Abel's getting on the horn saying that he's building a cast and a Thanos glove with his raps, and he's invincible and untouchable in Nevada, and they're just letting him get away with it and rewrite the rules. So Team Triple G, the way they've handled this whole ordeal, which I've been saying, to me is sus, is very questionable. Because one, you waited around for Canelo when you could have been undisputed by now by doing your own thing. But you wanted that money bag, you wanted the Canelo fight, and you were at his mercy. Now you're at Golden Boy's mercy yet again. Now you can move on and fight Derevyanchenko or Jacobs 2 or Boo Boo or Charlo or something. But to get the Canelo fight, they're saying they're not budging. And you're in public holding up the fight that you had already agreed to by not taking an offer that you agreed to in May or right before that when it was negotiated. So to me, I think this is Triple G's side. I really do. How is it not? Now, some people would argue, oh, that sounds fair, but business isn't fair. See, this is gonna make a lot of people mad, but I'm gonna kick the science to you. So the people that are saying, oh, this is fair, I understand Triple G, I understand why he wants 50-50. They're looking at it from a perspective of, hey, Canelo, he failed a drug test, 2 of them. The fight got canceled. Golovkin lost money, right? He has all the belts except for Billy Joe Saunders' belt. He's a champion, a respected champion. So that sounds fair. But once again, I'm going to say it again. Business is not fair. This is survival of the fittest. The A side rarely has anything to do with only talent. See, Floyd Mayweather was an anomaly because he happened to possess both. The ability to sell tickets and generate live gates and pay-per-view attractions and blockbuster events. And on top of that, he's a phenomenal fighter in terms of skill. So he happened to possess both. But there's a lot of guys who are maybe good fighters and they could even be an A side, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best. You know what I mean? The best of this generation or anything like that. But in an equation, the A side is more so a popularity contest. Again, people are looking at this from the scope of business is fair. It's not fair about, oh, how is this guy an A side and this and that. But that's the reality of the situation. Oftentimes the A side, it doesn't mean he's the more account. It's like I said, a popularity contest. So the fact of the matter is, Canelo is the A side in this equation. When he fights, more eyes watch. When he fights, it sells out more seats in the terms of attendance. When he fights, it's all eyes on him. He has stats that Golovkin's side, they can't rival. Canelo versus Triple G, right? Well, actually, I can't use that because they both are involved in that. Canelo versus Mayweather. Name one pay-per-view fight that Golovkin has, independent of Canelo, that rivals that. Because you can't count the fight with Canelo because he's, what I'm saying is the A side. So he's helping those views, right? So you would have to look at the Jacobs fight, which did under 200,000. You would have to look at the Lemieux fight, which did under 200,000, right? It wasn't until Triple G partnered up and teamed up with Canelo for a fight that the fans wanted to see, a bankable boxing star, that his numbers were actually over 1 million. You know what I'm saying? Canelo has numbers over 1 million, close to 1 million, or better than Golovkin's, regardless of the Golovkin fight. Like Canelo versus Cotto. That did 900 and change, 900K and change, right? That's almost 1 million. He also has some Edison Dilatas, Angulo, and the Liam Smith fight had 51,000 people in attendance. Golovkin doesn't have any stats like this. So yes, I understand Canelo. People, oh, you're biased for Canelo. No, I'm just schooling you in terms of this A side thing. The A side doesn't mean you're the better fighter necessarily. A side doesn't mean that you have the belts and the other person. Another example would be Sergio Martinez versus Miguel Cotto, right? Cotto was challenging Sergio Martinez, who was the middleweight champion. right? But Cotto was the A side in that equation, and he had top billing. The press release, the flyers, the backdrops, it all said Cotto Martinez. It didn't say Martinez Cotto, even though Martinez was the champion. So even though he's the champion, that had nothing to do with the A side. Cotto had the stats. Cotto had fought against Margarito, Shane Mosley, Zab Judah. He had these great million plus pay-per-views with Floyd and Pacquiao, right? So that's a quick schooling on this A side. The people who are saying, hey, it sounds fair to me. Sounds fair because you're looking at it from business as being a fair thing. You know what I mean? This is a dog eat dog world. This is survival of the fittest. You know what I mean? For example, another example of business not being quote unquote fair. Walmart. If Walmart gets approved to open up shop and have a super Walmart in a city, that's going to hurt a lot of mom and pop shops. Reason being, Walmart is a big box. Everybody knows the name. Everybody knows the brand. And they get things for incredibly cheap. Their price points are really cheap. You could say, well, oh, I like Target better. But bottom line is Walmart is big business in any city, especially a super Walmart or a new Walmart, right? So some mom and pop shops that are in the nearby vicinity that are like smaller shops that have the same type of inventory, they'll probably be put out of business. Is that fair? You know what I mean? No. But once again, business is not fair. So a Walmart, a big box store like that will come and hurt small businesses. You know what I mean? So that's the same thing with this Golovkin situation. Bottom line is he's a B-side. He and his team agreed to a certain number or a certain percentage or whatever the case is. And now they're trying to change it, which is stalling the fight. And that's the bottom line. Here's an analogy for you guys. It's like you getting in an argument with your girlfriend and you didn't think of something to say in the heat of the moment when you guys were actually battling. So you guys leave the house, she stays behind. You had this huge blowout and this huge argument. And at the time, in the heat of the moment, you couldn't think of the right point to make or whatever. But you're driving, pissed off, thinking of it in the car. 3 hours later, after the argument has kind of cooled down, she's not texting you with any continuation of the argument. That's like you calling her and say, oh, no, wait, I wanted to say this, because you think of the perfect thing that you should have said. That's what it is with Golovkin. If you felt you wanted a more equitable split, this is just a simple lesson in business, then after you had a draw with Canelo and you thought you beat Canelo, why would you not negotiate for that equitable split? Why would it take for Canelo to fail 2 drug tests, get suspended, and that whole saga, have that fight fall apart for you and your team to determine and decide, hey, getting under 40%, that's not cool. Golovkin he's a stand-up dude. He didn't fail a drug test. You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't you in between, after the first fight happening and the second negotiations, why didn't you see, boxing is a sport, like, you got to get it while the getting's good. You got to get what you want and get what you want. That's why when people say, oh, Deontay Wilder should take $12.5 million and just get raped and get this flat rate while Joshua and Eddie Hearn make all the money on the back end, and this is going to be a big fight. No, they shouldn't. But people say, oh, Wilder should do that because he could demand more in the rematch. Rematches aren't guaranteed. Lomachenko still ain't fought Salido. And he's as great as Lomachenko's looking, he still ain't fought the guy that beat him. So there's no guarantee. And Salido, truth be told, he got stopped in his last fight, so the fight's not the same. And he immediately retired, right, after the fight. He has since said he's coming back and stealing beers and shit because he thirsty or whatever. So he wanted some cervezas. He wanted to steal some beers, right? But again, does it look like we're on par to have the Salido-Lomachenko rematch? Does it even matter now? You know what I mean? So rematches aren't guaranteed. Boxing is a sport. You got to get it while the getting's good. So my advice or thoughts to Triple G, I think they should have, instead of wanting 50-50 now and saying, hey, Golovkin's worth is now worth, when nothing has really changed other than Canelo failing a drug test, but he's still the A side. You know what I mean? You want a more equitable split. You should have thought about that and got that equitable split before the rematch was even announced. If you felt you were worth 50-50, right, why didn't you get it in the rematch? Why didn't you negotiate? Why did we even have an announcement for a fight? So that basically stipulates poor negotiating, because you took a deal and then with the whole blowout and Canelo pullout, pause, now you've reconsidered or thought about it and you're like, hey, wait, we want a better deal, because the first fight or the second fight got canceled. So now you've like reconsidered. So that's my truest thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.